Good afternoon, and welcome back to Doing It Live with Doomlink. We are here in the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the 3D version, or what I would like to refer to as the 3DS version, because I'm not playing this game with the 3D effects enabled, and of course it's a 3D Zelda game whether you're playing the Nintendo 64 version or this version, so it's a bit of a silly classification. Anyway, what I said that I would do at the end of the last part was, in this part, head over to Lake Hylia. The reason why I'm doing this now is just to make sure that I'm not, well, I wouldn't be beholden to the time limits of the trading sequence, because I would just... Are you for real? Are you... I think we can all agree, actually, that I had maintained a perfectly acceptable speed and angle in order to jump that, but fine. The game does not agree, or at the very least, Epona doesn't agree. So this is the first time that we are visiting Lake Hylia in the future, and as you can see, the water has been drained. Now, the reason for this is because the source of the water is actually in Lake Hylia. No, this is Lake Hylia. The source of the water is in Zora's Domain, and Zora's Domain has now frozen, which we will become acquainted with a little bit later on in the game. But for now, yes, we can see that Lake Hylia is very low indeed. Alright, so we stand on here, and now we may climb the ladder, but as I understand it, we've got these stupid things trying to kill us. And I do have a hook shot, but I'm probably not going to try and use that. So we've killed one. I think there are two. There's another one a little higher up. Maybe not. Let's take a chance. The reason why I was a little wary, though, is because if you don't kill them, or if you don't kill that one at least, you'll get knocked off this ladder as you're trying to climb it. There's a piece of heart. That is the heart piece that we were here to get. And with that taken care of, I think it's time for the trading sequence. Now, I'm not going to be using the guide for the trading sequence, I'm going to do it based on memory. And I think I can manage that. It's just a little more fun for me. I think you can probably see why I absolutely detest Epona. I mean, I had many choice words for this horse in my 2015 Let's Play of this game. But, also, to clarify, while I do make references to my 2015 Let's Play, it's no longer on YouTube. And the reason why is because the quality of my microphone was absolutely horrific. It was just terrible. I don't know why I allowed for it. It was strange because I had a much better microphone before that time, and also after that time. But I had allowed myself to end up with a terrible microphone for about a year, and it was from late 2014 to late 2015, and unfortunately that was basically the duration for the recording of that 2015 Ocarina of Time livestream. But it was okay. It was okay that the whole thing had to be scrapped on that basis, because to be honest, I was a bit cutting about Ocarina of Time. It was definitely a Let's Play filled with complaints, and that's not always a good thing for a Let's Play, to be honest. I wasn't a huge fan of the game then. I'm a little warmer towards Ocarina of Time now, but it's still nowhere near my favourite game in the series. But, yeah. I'm not going to make many more references to that Let's Play. I just have little memory points, little things that trigger my memory from that recording series. Okay, so this is the beginning of the trading sequence. I bred a new type of miniature Kuko. I call it the Pocket Kuko. I don't get goosebumps from this baby. Kukos are very good at getting lazy. They're very good at getting lazy late risers out of bed. Okay. Just give me the damn thing. So what we want to do with this, as you can guess, and I will get the cheat sheet up, we want to wait until the sun rises, because then the cuckoo will hatch. Look, I've got my cursor on the screen. Okay, apparently that was technically still daytime, so... Playing the sun song again. Look, a cuckoo hatched from the egg you were incubating. I mean, to describe it as incubation might be a little bit of an embellishment, but I suppose, yeah, sure. So what we do now with this cuckoo is we go into here, and for some reason, I don't know what this is about, but he's sleeping in here. I don't know if he's, you know, getting it on with this lady or this lady. My god, he might be two-timing them. There might be some sort of agreement between this trio of reprobates. Alright, here we go. Take that. What in tarnation? Can't a person get a little shut-eye around here? No. You've got a daughter. Did you save Marlon? Thanks, I'm going back to the ranch then. What do you mean, did I save her? Did I save her? I don't know where he's coming from in making that comment. But essentially, once you have woken up that guy, Talon, whatever, the cuckoo will be considered happy. And once you've got a happy cuckoo, you can now accost this lady once again. I have made it happy, for fuck's sake. Are you crazy? Please make this cuckoo happy. I have. I woke him up with the cuckoo. That's the requirement. Am I going insane? That's the requirement. I mean, I am admittedly doing this from memory, but I'm almost certain that that is the requirement. Like, that is what I'm meant to do. Once I've woken him up, the cuckoo is considered as happy, and then I just have to speak to the lady again. And because I'm considered some kind of master of cuckoo raising, she gives me another one. Alright, I'll look at the guide and see if I've done anything wrong. I don't believe I've done anything wrong. Very occasionally, you can just hit brick walls in Zelda games. Because the prerequisites sometimes are so specific that you think you've got it right, but you just don't. Alright. I have to bring up a guide for that. Zelda Dungeon, Ocarina of Time. Trading sequence. Alright, so pocket egg. Pocket cuckoo. After one night passes, a pocket cuckoo hatches from the collected egg. It needs to be brought to Talon, who sleeps in a house in Kakariko Village. This is the crucial bit. When Link takes out the pocket cuckoo in front of him, he wakes up and returns to Lon Lon Ranch. Link can now go to see the cuckoo lady to gather a special cuckoo. After waking up Talon, the pocket cuckoo is happy. The cuckoo lady decides that Link is good enough at taking care of cuckoos that he can handle Kojiro, who used to belong to her brother and is no longer happy now that he has left. Maybe, okay, here we go. So, you can technically do it from the beginning. AJ told me that you can do it from the beginning, which I took to mean that there wasn't, like, a specific prerequisite. There is a specific prerequisite. It's free King Zora from the Red Ice. You can do that at any point in the game, but I didn't know that that was a requirement. That's actually a little surprising. Well, no, it says it's required because it's part of the trading sequence, but that shouldn't prevent me from getting this blue cuckoo. So what the hell? try using the Kuko? Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, I'm supposed to show her the Kuko. Ah, yeah. I don't know why I didn't consider that. I wonder why I didn't even think to do that. That's strange. Yes, I will keep Kojiro. You return the Pocket Kuko and got Kojiro in return. Unlike other Kukos, Kojiro rarely crows. I think because it's dying. If it's blue... Oh, for fuck's sake, what do you want, Navi? I wonder what's going on in the forest right now. I'm worried about Saria too. Has it ever occurred to you, Navi, that you may have already said that to me before? Obviously does not have the best short-term memory. Anyway. Oh. Did you guys know that there was a bomb sitting in the grass just by where you were standing? I mean, it seems that someone has it out for you. Alright. So what I probably will do, just ahead of continuing the trading sequence, is I will free King Zora from his confines. Now, you've got two options, really, for freeing King Zora in the future. You can either purchase Blue Fire, which is an absolute rip-off, or you can go to the Ice Cavern, or Ice Cave, whatever it's called, and just get the damn Blue Fire. It's not that big of a deal. It's certainly better than getting 200 rupees and then spending all of them in order to get the Blue Fire in question. So, that's what I'll do. Maybe... Do you know what? Maybe I'll wait until I actually need King Zora. I don't need him right now. Because I just considered that in making the decision to free King Zora now, that would force me to take the journey to Zora's domain not once but twice. So, in the interest of not fucking doing that, I'm going to head over to the Kokiri Forest, and I really should have taken Epona there, but that's alright. I'm already most of the way there. Right, what's happening with the lighting? See how I'm being illuminated along here? I need to fix that. I'll fix it soon. Just not right now. And basically what I do, so, I don't know if it's even worth going into this little mini rant. I'll do it just for conversational reasons. One of my pet peeves is blinds that roll up, and you know how it's like a flat blind, where instead of having a curtain or even Venetian blinds, you've got just one long blind on a roll that you raise and lower. What I absolutely hate about those blinds that are on a big roll that go up and down is that they are never effective in actually sealing the room off from outside light. They are so fucking useless in doing that, but every place I've ever rented has them. I want curtains. I understand why curtains are not included in rental properties. It's because, you know, they may get filthy and maybe renters don't clean them, but you need a fucking curtain because it gets into the little grooves, it gets into the spots where you want to keep the light out. And so I've always had to do stupid things like sticking blankets into weird crevices and then filling the gaps with the blanket. I mean, it's just... I've just about had enough. Anyway, so aside from that, I just want to enjoy the convenience of a curtain so that I can not have outside light affecting my goddamn recordings. It feels like my life story. Anyway, so we want to go this way. Apparently not. I already lost my way. So we go into Kokiri Forest and we head to the left. And I believe it's required that you wait until nighttime. Fortunately, it was nighttime. So if you speak to this guy, you can get his attention by pulling this thing out. I don't know what's happening with this gentleman. He's not very well, I can tell you that. But he is knocking on death's door. I can tell you that much, because he will die during this trading sequence. It's a little morbid, but it's true. Normally only a nice guy like me can tame you, which means you must be a nice guy. You must be. Please, Mr. Nice Guy, please. Deliver this to the old hag in the potion shop in Kakariko Village. This will disappear if you take too long, so you gotta hurry, okay. Now, I will use Epona for this, because why not? You've got 3 minutes. It's very easy to get it done in 3 minutes. Even easier if you use this. This, to be clear, is not even close to being a requirement. You really don't require it, but I'm going to make use of it because I thought, well, I've got a lot of magic beans, so why not? Alright, let's play Epona's song. Or we could drop a bomb. Hold on. Yep, I don't remember it. Cheat sheet. The timing of that explosion was very strange. It wasn't even effectively dramatic in any sort of way. It was just a very weird and abrupt explosion. But yes, if you've got Epona on hand, this is not a difficult thing at all. The trading sequence is not difficult. I must emphasize that. It's very easy to get everything done within the time limits that you're given. It really, really helps, however. I would say probably the most important thing to do would be to get the magic bean for the Death Mountain Trail. That is probably the hardest thing to do without outside assistance. And I suppose I would classify the magic bean as outside assistance at this point. It really is a little more challenging, because what you have to do is you have to get from Lake Hylia to the top of Death Mountain, the actual top of it. Closed until morning? Well, fuck you. What's the sun song again? Okay, this I would have no fucking hope of remembering. Because my brain doesn't work like this. Alright. Once I have finished this part of the trading sequence, I will block out this light. The reason why the light is there is because I washed the blanket that I've been using to block out that light. It's something that I keep in place permanently. But you see, when you do that, it gets dusty, so I washed it. But I still haven't put it back in place. That's why that has been bedeviling my live streams for a little while. Alright, so the mushroom, if you present it to her, no, never mind. You have to speak to her, and then she can smell it on you, and then you present it. That fool, he had to go into the forest, I see. Give it to me now, she demands, while stroking a miniature tiger. If you see that fool, give this to him. It is the strongest medicine I've ever produced. Odd poultice. They say that there is no medicine that can cure a fool. I guess that's true. I don't know if this guy's a drug addict or what is going on. I have no clue. But it's all a bit mysterious. There is no time limit for the item that you get after having traded the odd mushroom. But what I will do, and I do... I would actually prefer not to be doing this in the middle of the live stream, but I will go and get that blanket and block out this light. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm back. Notice how the lighting is much more controlled now? I don't have this white shit bathing my arm. Much nicer, hey? Alright, so the next step for the trading sequence is for us to return to where we acquired the odd mushroom. And we will discover something when we get there. I may as well save the game while I'm here. Progress saved. Ah, this is much better. The light has been blocked out. Alright. We will use Epona for the convenience of it. If you were minded to do so, again, you can just save the game and reset to end up back. What the fuck are you complaining about? That's worse than the original version. I've never been blocked from traversing that bridge. I've never had that issue. That's a new one. It turns out that in the remake of Ocarina of Time 3D, Epona becomes even more insufferable, even more temperamental than she was in the original version, which is fucking difficult to achieve. I always chalk that up to the fact that it was a technically early 3D video game, but no, apparently in the 2011 remake, where they rebuilt the game from the ground up, they still managed to achieve an insufferable and temperamental Epona. Thanks, guys. I guess it's all part of the charm of the video game. We wouldn't want the player to have an unhindered experience riding their horse. I mean, that would be absurd. Alright, here we go. That guy isn't here anymore. Except for the Kokiri, people who come into the forest end up lost. They all become Stalfos. That's why he's not here anymore. This might be a weird reference to Aokigahara, but I don't know. Only his Sora is left. He? Well, take this. That guy isn't here anymore. Yeah, shut up. That medicine is made of forest mushrooms. Give it back. Yeah, alright. Alright, now you get the poacher's saw. Are you going to become one too? No, I'm not going to die. And stop giggling about the prospect of me dying, you creepy child. I probably could have taken the, well no, I certainly could have taken the magic bean, but I was so beside myself with discomfort in the presence of that creepy child that I had to get out of there straight away. Didn't even have time to consider my method of exit. My means of egress. Alright, so we now want to go to Gerudo Valley. One of the reason, actually, why Epona is required, it was said that it was optional in the guide that I checked, because technically if you have the long shot you can do this trading sequence without Epona, but I don't have the long shot, so Epona is required for this part of the game, allowing you to get the Goron sword, the big Goron sword. And essentially what we're doing is we are leaping across the broken bridge. You will recall that when we get to Gerudo Valley, we can't actually get to the other side of the gorge. But with Epona, we can. I don't quite know what to say, to be honest with you. The fact that Epona is more unruly is more unruly in the 3DS version than in the fucking Nintendo 64 version. I'm sorry. I will not detain you for more than 10 seconds in ranting here, but I feel like it is a story of my life where I have been complaining about... Sorry, I've got a flying creature in my face. Maybe it's the spirit of Epona frustrating me in my rant. But it feels like the story of my life that I've been complaining about Epona. And the fact that she's always complaining about something. She doesn't want to continue going forwards for one reason or another. She always finds a way to complain. And that's from having played the original version for my whole life. And here I am in the remake, and she is just as bad, if not worse. I don't know how they managed that. Check this out, mate. Hey, that saw, it's mine. But I thought I left that with my old lady. Oh well. This guy is so overanimated. But do you know what? This is actually illuminating, because I never understood why that guy would just open his mouth, and it looked like he was screaming, so he was, you know, holding himself like that, and then his mouth would just open. I had no idea what he was doing. I thought he was screaming. But apparently he was meant to be laughing, which is shown here with this animation. It's quite interesting. I can't speak to the game developers, but clearly the people who made this remake were able to speak to the developers, and they must have said, guys, what the fuck is this man doing? And they were told he's laughing, and so they remade the animation. Here he is, actually laughing. That is what a laugh looks like. Not whatever he was doing before. He looked like he was just bellowing. Anyway. Here we go. You got the broken Goron sword. Now, once you've got the broken Goron sword, you are able to go to the top of Death Mountain. Turn around. Now, at the top of Death Mountain... Okay, I didn't go fast enough. I'm not really surprised by that. That's not Epona's fault, that's my fault. I was scratching my eye. So, at the top of Death Mountain there is a giant Goron. And... he is going to take interest in this broken sword that we've got. And he will propose that it be fixed. Well, no, he won't propose that it be fixed. We're going to meet this Goron and then realize that he has irritated eyes. So, he's got nothing to say about this broken sword that we have. He will, however, have something to say when we get there, and he's rubbing his eyes, because apparently the volcano has been irritating his eyes. Which is entirely acceptable. I understand why that might be unpleasant. I suspect he's getting actual cinders in his eyes, which, yeah, not pleasant. But yes, as you can see, Epona is coming in handy. We're going back and forth across Hyrule Field. This would be really annoying without Epona. So, like for instance, could you imagine having acquired the hookshot and then still, at that point, electing not to use Epona to complete this quest? I mean, ugh. I think you would have to hate yourself. Or somehow have completely missed the Epona part of the game that you're playing. Alright, so again, we're heading up to the top of Death Mountain. And I will avail myself of the recently planted magic bean. And its convenience. It does speed things up immensely. Not as important here, of course, because I'm not on a timer. But when I am on a timer, It does make a big difference. Here we go. And here we are. Well, we're not quite there yet. Now, I don't quite know how this is going to work. I'm going to have to equip the hookshot. Because, and this is one thing I've never really understood. For some reason, the boomerang is something that adult Link can't use. Is it because he looks really juvenile? Is that the is it appearances that he's worried about? Is he trying not to look too childish by using a boomerang? Is that why adult Link can't use a boomerang? That's quite funny. But anyway. There you go. Oh, there you go. But yes, basically what I was trying to say was that because adult Link cannot use a boomerang, the only ranged item that we can use, like the only ranged attacking item that we have, is the hookshot. So, alright, let's go over here. Holy shit! That is a gigantic Goron. This guy is better at making blades than Medigoron. Oh, apparently we do have to show him this thing. Alright. Check this out. What do you have to say about this? That broken knife is surely my work even though I can't fucking see anything. Yeah, apparently yesterday's eruption harmed his eyes. Please go get the eye drops. Okay. Okay. So. He mentioned King Zora, so I think we want to go to King Zora first. I think how it works is, we get a frog from King Zora, and that's time limited. We have to take that frog to the guy at the laboratory. And then the guy at the laboratory gives us another timed item, which is the eye drops. So technically speaking, we've got 2 more trading items left. And then we just have to play the Sun Song a few times. I think, you know, 3 days worth of Sun Song playing. And then we get the big Goron sword. And that's the trading sequence. It's all fairly easy to remember. I was a little bit confused, obviously, by the blue chicken part, because I thought that maybe she would not require me to present the chicken to her, but yeah, that was the only issue I ran into. Alright, so as I said, we are headed for Zora's Domain. We're only going there once, okay? Had I gone there, freed King Zora, and then left, I would have had to take the journey twice, which is daft. It wouldn't make any sense whatsoever, so yes, we're not going to do it that way. The journey is being taken once. And it's happening right now. I suppose part of the reason why I was hesitant to take the journey twice is because it's a little long. It takes a little while. But, anyway. These frogs, by the way, there are some frogs that appear here. Well, I'm not going to try to prompt them out while there's an Octorok trying to kill me. Yeah, I did miss a few things in my first playthrough, but I have to say it was so long ago I don't remember precisely what I would have missed. I didn't miss all that much, so my playthroughs of Zelda were always informed by a Let's Player, right? So I would never play completely blind. I would always play at least with the knowledge gained from having seen a Let's Player play the game. So in my case with Ocarina of Time, I watched Dark-Minded Sith's Let's Play. And that was in 2008. Before that point, I had played a little bit of Ocarina of Time, but not much. I hadn't played it all the way through. I think I maybe got towards the... Yeah, it was probably around the Jabu Jabu's belly point of the game, where I stopped my first attempt at Ocarina of Time. And that would have been in 2006. But when Dark-Minded Sith did his Let's Play, I thought, hey, let's pick it up. Let's pick it up again, and I'll have Dark-Minded Sith sort of help me with the details, I guess. Because I found that more engaging than checking a guide. And that was how I got through the game. And that was my first full playthrough. So I don't think I missed everything. I can't remember if he did a 100% playthrough or not. Probably not. But he may have done. It's possible. But yeah, every single Zelda game for me had a Let's Player attached to it. For Ocarina of Time, it was Dark-Minded Sith. For Majora's Mask, it was Vampire Boy 25. For Wind Waker, it was Goron 50. For Twilight Princess, it was Sasha Silvermoon. For... what else was it? For A Link to the Past, there was Dr. 1297. For... Four Swords Adventures, that was also Goron 50. For Master Quest, incidentally, a very unhinged man named Archfrost, who I think deleted his YouTube in 2011. He was a very moody guy. I mean, Vampire Boy 25 was immensely angsty, but he didn't even touch the sides of Archfrost. Archfrost was nuts. Okay, so the reason why we're here, by the way, is so that we can get the blue fire. I think to get through this room, we need to kill all of these ice enemies. There we go. I was correct. I'm going to try and not get killed by this terrible spiked thing. Nope. I have to say, they've done a pretty good job at updating the textures of this thing. It's very reflective. Looks really cool. Alright, let's have a look. So, to clear this room, I need to acquire all of these rupees. I knew there was one back here. When I said I need to look at this, it was because I remembered that there was one that was difficult to find. And I managed to find it. So there you go. I will now climb this, and that should be all of them. Very good. And I think this now gives us access to blue fire. And I do have a free bottle to utilize. Because I very appropriately decided not to fill all of my bottles with fairies. I thought, nah, I'm likely going to need a bottle for maybe bugs or for something. And I suppose most crucially, I thought, well, I probably don't need that many fairies. I'm going to equip my hookshot because... Alright, that was a bit scary. I didn't really want to get closer to him. The blue fire, by the way, is just up here. I didn't know that you could roll under that big blade, no. That's new information. I suppose, I suppose there's no iframes. It's quite literally trying to say that you're going underneath it. Through the fact that you're able to evade it. Oh, getting another call. Whoa. Maybe don't throw your phone around. Hold on. I'm sorry, I get a little bit antsy with keys. When I have to contend with them, I become a little bit on edge because they're flying around, so they're not close. And when they come in close, they come in for the fucking attack. And I don't care. I've got a fucking fairy. I don't care. Do it. Hurry up. I hate keys so much. I hate them. Fire and ice keys can fuck off. Go away. Irritating thing. Alright, I've got my blue fire. I don't care. Let's free King Zora. Stop it. Now, to be clear, this whole area does not really need to be visited at this stage of the game. This is for a little bit later. This is for temple number 3. It does make sense that you can roll onto that now that I'm looking at it visually. Get that heart. Not that I need it. After that fairy, I had only lost a quarter of a heart. But yes, what the blue fire does is it melts the red ice. So that red ice, I suppose, is so incredibly cold that it requires blue fire in order to be melted. You became a professional backseat gamer watching your brother play this game in 2004. Very good. Yeah. I didn't play video games back then. I didn't really play video games until 2005, 2006. I think my parents were unsure if that was something I should be introduced to. Okay, blue fire. Alright, now, remember, you cannot speak with King Zora while standing next to him, because that would be impertinent. You must stand on this raised platform in order to speak with him. Oh, I've come back to life. Was it you who saved me? Don't be nervous. It looks like you have a hard time breathing underwater. As an expression of my gratitude, I grant you this tunic. With this, you won't choke underwater. Well, thank you very much. I'm not in need of it right now, but that was very kind of you. What we actually want him for is this. Oh, this is, well, eye drops. You might say we have them. You might say we don't. We do have the ingredients. If you take, I mean, don't be abstruse about it. I mean, just fucking tell us, hey, I can't make the eye drops, but we do have the ingredients for it. So if you want the ingredients, you can have them. I'll give them to you now. If you're not sure if you can use them, don't take them. But no, this is, I mean, this is a king, remember. Communicative abilities are kind of helpful for a king, but that's just me. Always open to the possibility of being completely wrong. But, yeah. So again, this is a timed part of the trading sequence. It's not difficult at all. You can, keep in mind, you don't really have access. I mean, you do have access to this. Yeah, I'll do this. Why not? It's probably technically faster to go to the Kokiri Forest through this route, and then get to Hyrule Field that way. So I think if I go straight ahead, that takes me out. No, it fucking doesn't. It never does it? I can never go in a direction that takes me straight out. I always mess it up. I suppose that means I'll have to memorize that when I come out of Zora's Domain into Kokiri Forest, I should go to the left. Go to the left. Alright. Now that we're in Hyrule Field, we can play Epona's song once again. Which is... very good. I remembered it. Again, you're sort of... what's a good analogy for this? No, that's not a good analogy. I was going to say it's like learning how to drive a car and then being forced to use the same knowledge to fly a plane. And I realized very quickly that that was a terrible analogy. Let me reconsider that. So, definitely something from, you know, early childhood, actually. Not early childhood. That suggests I was a toddler. Something from a young age where you learnt how to play the songs, right, with directional buttons, having to then resist the temptation, resist the inherent knowledge that you possess, and then interact with completely different buttons in order to play the same songs that you're familiar with. I mean, it is challenging. It challenges the mind, and also challenges one's patience, but, yeah. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I will go on saying it. This is not my definitive Ocarina of Time experience, okay? It's just not. It isn't now, and it never will be. And that's why it took me so long to play this frickin' game. Alright. Hello there, son. I'm researching the process of making medicine by mixing Lake Hylia's water with various unusual compounds. Perhaps you've met that old lady from the potion shop. She is like a student of mine. Okay, this guy must be truly ancient. Check out this frog. Wow. I haven't seen an eyeball frog like this since Zora's Domain froze over. These eyeballs are so delicious. Okay. Yeah, alright, Bakura. Remember Bakura from Yu-Gi-Oh? Licking the eyeball? Anyway. If I'm going to make references, I shouldn't have them be so obscure. Tonight I will cook fried eyeballs for the first time in a long time. That's what that laugh is meant to sound like. Such great stuff. Please say thank you to King Zora. Eh? What? These are for making Big Goron's eye drops? Yeah, the frame rate of this version is nice. I agree with that, but... yeah. As for liking the visuals of the original more, I'm kind of neutral. I see the original and the remake so separately from one another that I can appreciate both on a visual level in a way that doesn't interfere with my appreciation of the other. They are so different. Because I remember the first time I spoke to someone who played the remake, and played it a lot, was a friend that I had met through Monster Hunter. And this was back in 2018, and he was quite surprised that as a Zelda fan I hadn't played the remake, and I said, well, I don't really see a reason for it to be remade for a visual reason. And he's like, well, the original looked like crap. It was like old 3D graphics. The original looks way better, and I think I made the mistake of saying, no, it doesn't look that much better. And he's like, no, it looks way better. It's completely different. And I said, no, I don't think so. And that broke his mind a little bit. It may have been my choice of words. What I was really trying to communicate was that, quite frankly, the graphics of the original, to me, having grown up with it, were perfectly acceptable. To the point where it just doesn't need to be remade. Of course, even for early 3D games, And I do use that phrase advisedly. I mean, part of me wants to say that early 3D is fucking polygons and stuff like that. But for early 3D games, I'm gonna say 90s 3D games, it's not really about the graphics, it's about the way you experience the game. And to be honest, I think the graphics were fine. I mean, I agree with you, AJ. I think the graphics of the original are fine. Probably the only example that I can think of where this game really noticeably surpasses the original in terms of graphics, there are two examples. The faces, and also the second example would be the distant shots that you have of an area when you're entering into it. So, like, for example, if I walk into Hyrule Castle, you can see there's a distant shot of Hyrule Castle town there. The detail of that shot is much more convincing here in the remake as compared to the original. The detail in the original just looks like a bunch of pixels. And then also, like for example, looking at Kakariko Village from the top of Death Mountain. Looks much better in this version. So little things like that. Very little things. But absolutely, for me, this is not even close to being the definitive experience. So, yeah. By the way, I have not been keeping track of how long this part has been, because I've been singularly focused on getting the entire trading sequence in this one part. So, I don't know if it's been 20 minutes, I don't know if it's been 40 minutes, but we've been doing the trading sequence, I can tell you that. And we're almost done with it. This is the last step, actually. Again, taking a shortcut. Not required, but it helps. It does help. It saves us about 30 to 45 seconds, I would say. The reason why it helps is because these Skulltulas, my god, when you're on a timer, you don't want to be dealing with them. They're annoying when you're on a timer. If you were to deal with them on a timer without taking the shortcut, see how we're down to a minute? If you are dealing with them without taking that shortcut, that method that I just used is what I would recommend. It is just targeting them and then using the hookshot. The N64 Castle Town shot from Hyrule Field is basically a still image. Well, yeah, it's a still image, but it's a still image that you can barely make out. It just looks like a garbled mess. Really? You brought the eye drops? I mean, aren't you glad that I'm not reading his text as it's actually written? Here we go. Oh. Don't you love that liquid dropping sound? Wow! This is stimulating. It's working great. Now I can get back to my blade business. My work is not very consistent, so I'll give this to you so you won't forget. I don't think this is a question of consistency. I think this is a question of you actually honoring your obligations. Alright, so let's talk to him. You are impatient, he says. He's not even giving us a time frame. I believe in the original game, he gives us a very clear time frame of 3 days. How about we pass time twice and see if that's enough? They may have changed the duration. Song. Okay. Oh, fuck that up. There we go. And one more time. Song. What do you have to say for yourself? Not yet. He's not giving me a time frame. In the original, 100%. 110% he gives me a time frame. In the original. Here, he isn't saying a word. You think the time is on the claim check? Maybe. But I swear he says it in the original. Anyway. My memory is that it's 3 days, so there should be 2 full days having passed now. Not yet? Yeah, I'm so impatient, mate. I'm a little shit. Yep. And then one more time. Presumably. That might not make a difference. What determines passage of time might actually be the crow of the cuckoo. I made this trade for claim check. How do you even speak with multiple Ks? Does that at that point become like Arabic or Hebrew? Claim check. Yeah, true. Here, take it. Your sword is my finest work. Good stuff. I remember you saying, AJ, that there was a detail with this sword that I might appreciate. Let me equip it. What I can see is most different about it is that it's got that really big medallion, almost, that print medallion on it. It looks fucking cool when you do that. It looks good in this version in the sense that you get a much better sense of its size, I think. I think you get a better sense of its size. Oh, it has its own scabbard. You're right. You are right. Check that out. Yeah, no, that's good. I do like that. That was something I loved about Majora's Mask when you would upgrade the sword. And when you got to the gilded sword, the scabbard was much longer. I loved that. I loved that little detail. It's funny that that didn't immediately become clear to me, but you're right. Oh, I love that. So I want to get that same angle as before. Oh, look at that. Yeah. It's like I've got a fucking lance in my hands. Now, when you do it straight on, look at this. This is nothing. When you're straight on, you're not seeing much of anything. If you stand from this angle, yeah, look at that. Fucking hell. That just makes the whole thing worth it, doesn't it? Yeah, the big Goron sword. Takes a little bit of effort, but I never use the shield in this game, so why on earth would I use the Master Sword? Big Goron sword, this is what we need. And yeah, you're right, it's got its own scabbard. It really looks like a nice, big fucking sword sheathed on our back. I like this a lot. This is very nice. Yeah. I'm a happy man. I've got the big Goron sword. And, I think I said before, I'm surprised that even at this point, if I didn't say it, I meant to, that after having spent this much time in the future, as adult Link, we still haven't even reached the Forest Temple. But that's alright. We will do that in the next part. This has been pretty effective. I might be able to do another part. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I will save the game. But for the time being, that is it for this part. I do hope you guys enjoyed. We managed to do the whole trading sequence in one part. The only hiccup we had was at the very start, wasn't it? Because I'm a bit foolish. But anyway, I will see you in the next part. Don't know if it's going to be part of this live stream or not, but we will see. I will bid you farewell for now, and I thank you for watching.